If I went back in time and met myself when I was confused in dealing with girls and trying to understand them, one of the very first things I would say to myself is learn how to know when a girl is not interested in you, because that way you won't waste your time and you well know when to walk away and stop exhausting yourself for nothing. I tell my younger self that this one skill, this ability to read disinterest clearly, would save me from countless nights of overthinking, from embarrassing moments of pushing too hard, from the soul-crushing experience of investing emotions into someone who was never going to reciprocate. I tell him that confidence isn't just about knowing what to do when things are going well. It's about having the self-respect to recognize when they not and having the courage to walk away. So the question is, how will you know that a girl is not interested in you? Let me tell you, it's actually very easy to know. The problem isn't that the signs are unclear. The problem is that we don't want to see them. We're so invested in the outcome, so caught up in our own feelings, that we actively ignore what's right in front of us. We rationalize, we make excuses, we reinterpret cold behavior as something neutral or even positive because accepting the truth feels like failure. But once you learn to see these signs clearly, once you train yourself to observe reality instead of your fantasy about reality, everything becomes simple. So listen to me carefully, because in these next minutes you're giving me, I'll teach you a skill that will stay with you for the rest of your life. This isn't just dating advice. This is a fundamental lesson in reading human behavior, in understanding social dynamics, in protecting your time and emotional energy. The men who succeed with women aren't necessarily the most attractive or the most charming. They're the ones who can accurately read situations and adjust accordingly. They don't waste months chasing ghosts. They recognize reality quickly and move forward with clarity. The first thing we'll start with is the environment. When you meet a girl within the same environment you're in, but there has never been any romantic interaction or emotional connection between you, the way to tell whether she is interested in you or not is to compare her behavior with the environment you both share. This is critical because context is everything in human interaction. The same smile, the same laugh, the same friendly gesture can mean completely different things depending on where you are and what the social expectations are in that space. If her behavior matches the environment, then it simply means she's not interested. How? Imagine with me. You in a cafe, and a waitress comes to you and starts treating you with kindness and politeness. She smiles warmly, she asks about your day, she remembers your order from last time, she even compliments your jacket. Does that mean she's into you? Of course not. She's simply doing her job. She's treating you the way she's supposed to treat you. Her income depends on tips. Her employment depends on providing good customer service. And her training has taught her that friendly engagement leads to better outcomes. That smile you're reading as interest is actually professional courtesy. The attention you're interpreting as attraction is actually sales technique. Or, for example, you know a girl who works with you at the same job and she speaks to you kindly and respectfully. She greets you in the morning, she asks how your weekend was. She offers to help you with a project. She laughs at your jokes during lunch. Again, her kindness doesn't mean she's into you. It means she's a professional person who understands that workplace relationships matter for career success, team cohesion, and daily comfort. She's being collegial, not romantic. She's networking, not flirting. But imagine a girl who works with you in the same place, comes to stand with you during breaks when she doesn't need to, starts laughing or speaking with you informally in a way that's different from how she treats other colleagues, or behaves with you in an unprofessional way that doesn't suit the work environment. Maybe she touches your arm when talking to you, something she doesn't do with others. Maybe she finds excuses to work late when you're working late. Maybe she texts you about non-work things or invites you to activities outside of work. In this case, she's probably interested because she's breaking the environmental norm specifically for you. Or let's say a girl in the same class as you comes over and starts teasing you, hitting you playfully, or playing around with you in ways that go beyond normal classroom interaction. Maybe she steals your pen just to get you to chase her. Maybe she makes fun of your answers in a playful way. Maybe she passes you notes or sends you messages during lectures. That is also a sign that she is interested, because you need to understand that we humans by nature, when we want to attract attention, we break the rules, we do something unexpected. We create moments that stand out from the ordinary pattern of interaction. Back to our example. You and she are studying in the same class, and whenever she sees you, she comes and hits you, then runs away or does something weird to get your attention. I don't know what people do these days. The point is, she's creating opportunities for interaction that wouldn't naturally exist. Does that behavior match the environment you're both in? Of course not. A classroom is supposed to be focused, quiet, professional. If she's disrupting that specifically to interact with you, that's a deviation from the norm. So she's interested. But if she comes to you and treats you nicely in exactly the same way she treats everyone else in class, if she friendly but maintains the same boundaries and formality with you as she does with all her other classmates, that probably means she's not interested in you. She's just a pleasant, social person who treats people well. And this is what I want you to understand. If a girl is nice to you in an environment where she's supposed to be nice, that doesn't mean she's interested. You need to wake up and truly understand this idea, because it will save you a lot of time, a lot of embarrassment, and a lot of emotional energy. Now, let us suppose, a girl at work, and this girl is an introvert who doesn't talk to anyone, keeps to herself during meetings, eats lunch alone, barely makes eye contact with colleagues, but with you specifically, she becomes very social. Suddenly, she's chatty, she seeks you out, she opens up about her life, she laughs freely. That again means she's interested, because her behavior with you is dramatically different from her baseline behavior. The contrast is the signal. But if she's naturally an extroverted person who talks to everyone, who lights up every room, who makes friends wherever she goes, who treats the janitor the same warm way she treats the CEO, then her talking to you or being nice to you does not mean she's interested. She's just being herself. That warmth you're feeling from her, everyone else is feeling it too. You're not special in her eyes, you're just another person in her social circle. So in short, just because a girl acts kindly with you doesn't mean she's into you. It just means she's acting the way she's supposed to act in that particular context. And the reason I started with this rule is because I want to explain to you a common pattern among many guys. One that's linked to our evolutionary psychology and affects almost every man at some level. If we go back to the time of the caveman, the man's goal was to spread his genes as widely as possible to maximize his reproductive success, while the woman had to be far more selective and try to choose the right man, because pregnancy and child rearing represented a massive investment of time, energy, and risk. So since the man's role was to pursue multiple mating opportunities, whenever he saw a woman smiling at him or showing any hint of friendliness, he would automatically assume she wanted him, because if she did and he pursued her, he potentially gained a mating opportunity. And if she didn't and her smile meant nothing, then he lost nothing except a small amount of time and effort. That's why we as men develop this psychological tendency of turning tiny signals into signs of attraction, of interpreting ambiguous behavior optimistically, of seeing interest where none exists. It's called the sexual overperception bias, and it's hardwired into male psychology. And this mental habit, I want you to start dealing with it consciously. I want you to understand that just because a woman is nice to you doesn't mean she wants you. Your brain is lying to you, rewriting neutral signals as romantic interest because that's what it evolved to do. Always keep in mind the rule of the environment. And it's not necessarily about physical environment only. It can go deeper than that. The environment can also be situational or relational. Imagine with me, you're sitting with a girl and helping her with exams or doing her a favor like fixing her computer, giving her a ride somewhere, helping her move apartments, or lending her money. Here, if she's behaving kindly, laughing at your jokes, touching your arm, seeming really engaged and grateful, that's only because she needs something from you. That's why she's being kind. The moment the favor is done, the moment the exam is over, the moment she no longer needs your help, watch how quickly that warmth disappears. You'll text her afterwards and suddenly she's busy. You'll suggest hanging out and suddenly she has plans. You'll try to continue the connection and you'll realize there was never a connection, there was a transaction. She was nice because you were useful, not because she was interested. And guys fall for this constantly because we want to believe that our helpfulness, our generosity, our willingness to be there for her will translate into romantic interest. But it doesn't work that way. Usefulness doesn't create attraction. It creates convenience. And since we're talking about kindness, let's move on to the second sign. She's nice to you but doesn't test you. Let me explain this carefully because on the surface, this looks like a good thing. You might think, she's sweet. She listens. She agrees with me. She's not giving me a hard time. She's not creating drama. She's not playing games. Maybe that's a sign she likes me. Maybe she's just a mature, emotionally stable woman who doesn't need to play those silly testing games. No, bro. That's a trap. When a woman likes a guy even just a little, even if she's trying to hide it, she starts testing him without necessarily meaning to. It's not always conscious, it's instinct. It's how female psychology works when attraction is present. She pokes at his confidence to see if it's real or fake. She teases him to see how he handles social pressure. She challenges his opinions to see if he's solid in his beliefs or easily swayed. She says something a bit rude or provocative to see how he responds. She gets unpredictable, switching between warm and cold to see if he can handle emotional fluctuation. Why does she do this? Because her emotions are activated. She's trying to figure out, is this guy actually solid? Can I feel something real around him? Is he really who he presents himself to be, or is he putting on an act? Will he crumble under pressure? Does he have a strong frame, or does he bend to please me? These tests aren't cruel, they're natural. They're how women screen for genuine confidence versus fake confidence, for real strength versus performed strength. But when she's not attracted, none of that happens. She's calm, polite, smiling, agreeable, non-emotional. It's like talking to a receptionist at a hotel or a customer service representative at a call center. She laughs at your jokes politely without any real emotion behind it. She nods at your stories with generic responses. She say, "Oh, wow," and that's interesting at all the right moments, but you don't feel anything genuine behind it. There's no spark, no tension, no emotional charge. You know why? Because she's not emotionally investing. She's just being socially polite like someone doing their job. No tension, no chaos, no emotional spikes, no real engagement, just surface level interaction. She's going through the motions of being friendly without any of the substance that comes with actual interest. Most guys actually prefer this kind of girl, the one who's polite and easygoing because she feels safe. She never challenges them, never creates tension, never makes them feel nervous or uncertain, never disrupts their comfort zone. I mean, seriously, do you really need someone to tell you that if a girl never texts you first, it means she's not interested? Do you need a video explaining that if she cancels plans repeatedly, she doesn't want to see you? Do you need someone to spell out that if she takes hours or days to reply to a simple text, she's not excited to talk to you? It's just basic logic. It's common sense. So let me repeat this rule one more time, and I want you to tattoo it in your brain to keep it in your mind for the rest of your life. If a girl's not interested in you, you always know. Deep down, beneath all your rationalizations and excuses and hopeful reinterpretations, her actions never lie. They're crystal clear. What confuses you? What creates the ambiguity? What makes you keep trying is your hope. You want her to like you so badly. You're so invested in the outcome that you rewrite her cold behavior into excuses that protect your ego. You tell yourself, she's probably just busy with work or school. Maybe she's shy and doesn't know how to express her feelings. Maybe she's just not ready for a relationship yet. Maybe she's been hurt before and has trust issues. Maybe she's testing me to see if I'll keep trying. Maybe she's playing hard to get. Maybe she just needs more time to see my value. But no, that's your brain trying to protect you from the painful truth that she just not into you. That's your ego creating a narrative that allows you to keep hoping, keep trying, keep investing without facing rejection. When a girl likes you, truly likes you, you feel it. You don't sit around wondering and analyzing and questioning. You don't need to ask your friends for their opinion. You don't need to watch YouTube videos trying to decode her behavior. She makes it easy, warm, natural, obvious. Even if she's not super expressive, even if she's a bit shy or reserved by nature, you'll sense that she enjoys your presence. You'll feel that she wants to be around you. She responds fast to your messages, or if she's busy, she explains why and makes sure to get back to you soon. She laughs at your dumb jokes, the ones that aren't even funny. She finds excuses to keep the conversation going even when it naturally reaches an ending point. She asks you questions about your life because she's curious about who you are. Hell, sometimes she just wants to argue with you or debate with you because she likes that little tension. That intellectual sparring, that emotional charge that comes from engaging with someone she's attracted to. But when she's not into you, she disappears behind a wall of softness and politeness that feels friendly but completely blocks real connection. She smiles, but it's fake, mechanical, the kind of smile you give to strangers. She replies, but it's late, hours or days later, with short answers that don't invite continuation. She talks but never asks you anything personal. She never follows up on things you told her. She never shows curiosity about your life, your thoughts, your feelings. You tell her something personal, something meaningful to you, and she says, "Oh, okay," or "That's nice," like you just told her about the weather. Like you just shared the most boring, irrelevant information imaginable. There's no emotional response, no engagement, no follow-up questions. She's busy all the time. Always busy. But somehow, mysteriously, she's free for everyone else. You see her posting stories out with friends. You see her active on social media. You see her engaging with other people. But for you, there's always an excuse. She has family commitments, school deadlines, work projects. She's sick, she's tired, she's traveling, there's drama in her life. Always something. And even when she agrees to meet, something always comes up at the last minute. You'll notice you're always the one starting the conversation. Always, you're the one texting first. You're the one checking in, asking how her day was, trying to make plans. And if you stop, if you decide to wait for her to reach out, nothing happens. Days pass, weeks pass. She doesn't even notice you've gone quiet. She doesn't wonder why you stop talking. She doesn't reach out to check if you're okay. Your absence creates no void in her life because you were never really present in it to begin with. But here's the worst part, the thing that really traps guys. She's nice. She's not rude. She doesn't block you or tell you to go away. She might even throw a haha or a cute emoji from time to time. Just enough to keep you on the hook. That's what traps you in this painful limbo. That politeness, that little hint of warmth, that occasional positive response keeps you hanging because you think, if she didn't like me at all, if she wanted nothing to do with me, she would have told me, right? She would have been clear about it. No, women rarely reject you directly and clearly unless you put them in a corner and force them to. They're too socialized to be nice, too conflict averse, too afraid of being seen as the bad guy. What they do instead is something worse, something more painful. They let you die slowly, quietly, politely. They don't slam the door in your face. They just never open it fully. They keep it cracked just enough that you can see through, just enough that you stay hoping, but never wide enough that you can actually enter. And I'll be honest with you, completely transparent. I've been there. I've been exactly where you might be right now. I used to talk to this girl who always forgot to reply. She'd go days without saying anything. And when I called her out on it, when I asked if everything was okay, she'd say, "Oh my God, sorry, I've been so busy lately," or "I'm so bad at texting. Don't take it personally." I'd believe her every time. I'd accept the excuse. I'd tell myself she's just busy, life is overwhelming these days, everyone's stressed. Then I'd see her online constantly. I'd see her posting Instagram stories, replying to other people's comments, going out with friends clearly on her phone all the time. She wasn't busy, she just wasn't busy for me. Her time wasn't actually limited, it just wasn't allocated to me. And you know what hurt the most? That little hope I kept alive. That fantasy I nurtured that if I just became a little more interesting, a little more funny, a little more patient, a little more understanding, a little more persistent, maybe she'd finally wake up and see what she had in front of her. Maybe she'd realize I was the one. Maybe she'd have some moment of clarity where she recognized my value, but she never did. And the day I finally stopped texting, the day I decided to just not reach out anymore, she never checked in. She never asked what happened. She never wondered why I disappeared. That silence, that complete absence of response, that's when I learned the painful truth. If a girl likes you, you don't have to guess. You don't have to analyze. You don't have to ask the internet for help decoding her behavior. If you're guessing, if you're confused, if you're unsure, that itself is your answer. That uncertainty you feel is actually clarity if you're willing to see it. Because when a girl's into you, she shows it in the smallest, most undeniable ways. She remembers things you said weeks ago. She double texts when you don't reply fast enough. She laughs too hard at jokes that aren't even that funny. She argues with you for no real reason except that she enjoys the interaction. She wants your attention even if it's in a childish or immature way. She finds ways to stay close, to maintain connection, to keep you in her life. Not excuses to drift away. Not reasons why she can't hang out. Not explanations for why she's distant. She finds solutions, not obstacles. So if she's always busy, always dry in her responses, never initiates contact, never makes an effort, never prioritizes you, and you still keep chasing, keep hoping, keep investing, I want you to pause right now. Because I've been you. I've lived this painful experience. And I want you to understand one fundamental thing that changed everything for me. You're not hard to love. You're not defective or inadequate or insufficient. You're just trying to be loved by the wrong person. You're directing your energy towards someone who doesn't value it, doesn't reciprocate it, doesn't want it. And that's not a reflection of your worth. It's just a mismatch. Walk away with your dignity intact, and don't look back. Don't check if she notices. Don't wait for her to realize what she lost. Don't hope she come back. Just move forward with your life. You don't need closure. The silence was your closure. The lack of effort was your answer. She doesn't need to explicitly say she's not interested. She already said it loudly and clearly with everything she didn't do, with every message she didn't send, with every plan she didn't make, with every question she didn't ask, with every story she didn't share, with every moment she chose to give her attention to anything and anyone but you. That was her answer. Listen to it. I love you, brother. Stay strong. Respect yourself enough to walk away from people who don't choose you. And I'll see you in the next video.